Guys, how's everyone doing today? Super Bowl hangover day. And I hope everyone had a nice afternoon, whether it was watching the game by yourself or at a party or not watching it, regardless. But what I wanted to talk about today was depression and seasonal depression, especially, but I think right now we all know somebody, or maybe we're suffering ourselves from depression or anxiety. The rates have just skyrocketed through, COVID, obviously, and it's become just a regular thing, which is unfortunate. And it's different from anxiety, and it's different because it is composed of feelings of apathy, having the blues, sleeping more than normal, where anxiety is chronic stress, worry, panic attacks, and there's like an actual physical response where your heart rate might start going up. There's actually no way to diagnose depression physically, ironically. Isn't that crazy? But there is a strong link between low BDNF and depression. And BDNF is something that, especially as we age, we want to increase. So you hear those letters and you say, okay, I want more of that. Well, what is it? It's brain-derived neurotrophic factor. And it's the fertilizer for the brain. It helps with nerve growth, nerve differentiation, maintenance of the synapses between the nerves. And as you can imagine, that number goes down as we get older, just like all the other stuff starts falling out. So we want to increase that BDNF. And what can you do to do that? BDNF works in the synapses and relays the messages across the synapse so the message can be heard properly. And as a result, it helps support learning, long-term memory, higher thinking, connecting to your higher self, reduction of inflammation in the brain, mental alertness, and absorption of neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. And dopamine and serotonin have a direct effect on your mood and depression. All of the clinical trials that have tried to inject BDNF into the central nervous system have failed. So the question is, how do we increase BDNF naturally? Because some of the antidepressants, the way they work is they go after the receptor sites for serotonin and these happy hormones. So what it does is they block those receptor sites to make the serotonin float more in the brain, and then it tricks the brain in thinking it's got more serotonin than it actually does. And then the brain actually says, oh, well, I've got plenty of serotonin, I don't need any more. And then if you are ever to get off your antidepressant without the guidance of a doctor or having natural supplements or other methods to increase that serotonin, it's going to fall like a cliff because you have actually stopped making the serotonin that you originally were making. And I sent out an article on food addiction this last weekend, and that talks about dopamine. And that is essentially, we are in a culture now, we are craving a high level of dopamine. We don't even know what normal means anymore when you're constantly on social media and getting those hits and those likes. That's a big dose of dopamine. Or if you're on cocaine, or if you're engaging in pornography or gambling or food or alcohol, all of these addictions are literally a strive to increase your dopamine. So this is where we are set up as a culture in general to be depressed, to be unfulfilled. And really, dopamine is the pursuit of. These Olympians that we're watching, or if you're not watching, I don't know if you are, but they've worked so hard all of these years leading up to this point. Their dopamine is increased during that training part, right? Up until these days when it's finally time to get on that ice skating rink. And when they do, and when they hit and get the gold, then they go home, and then what? Then they need to find other ways to increase their dopamine, because once they hit that gold, it's like nothing else can can hit it. And that's why you hear about Michael Phelps and all of these pro athletes and Olympic athletes that have severe depression and suicidal thoughts after this, because you don't get the dopamine after, you get the dopamine in the journey. Me, for example, I'm working, I'm trying to help as many people as I can. That is a dopamine hit for me. That makes me alive and feel great as I'm on my journey. If I make $1 billion by the end of this year, is that my goal? No, my goal is to continue helping, because I'm going to be happiest when I continue on the path, on the journey. So that's just a side note. And so if you are on antidepressants, the way they work is they block the receptor sites so that your brain thinks it has more serotonin in it, but it also has side effects in loss of libido and feeling brain fog and all these other things I don't want to go into. So how do we do it naturally? So we're going to look at BDNF as a way to increase our mood. And it also increases the learning, long-term memory, higher thinking, reduces inflammation, mental alertness, and that increase of neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. So you can't just inject it like a drug. Believe me, it would be the best-selling drug out there, not just for depression, but for everything, for higher thinking, for memory, for all of this stuff, because BDNF is something we all need. What are the top things to increase BDNF naturally? Number one, acceleridine. Iodine deficiency is the number one depression predictor. So if you have someone in your life that's depressed, they need to be taking iodine. They are deficient. 96% of the United States is deficient, but it's also the first predictor of depression. It also is related to low metabolism, low physical energy, mental fog, chronic fatigue. If you're fatigued and you have low energy, of course, your brain's not going to feel great and you're going to be depressed. It's depressing to not have energy. And I go through periods of where my energy goes up and down. So just by increasing your iodine intake and the acceleridine, it opens the pineal gland, increases BDNF, and increases your connection to your higher self, which also is going to help with your depression levels. Number two is accelerated gold. So gold has been known for thousands of years as a natural calming agent, helps with depression, helps with anxiety, helps with sleep. And it was one of the gifts given to baby Jesus. And we're not talking about gold coins. Jesus didn't need gold coins. It was liquid gold because there are health benefits to gold. And the accelerated scalar gold is enhanced with the powerful scalar technology and water implosion technology that increases the efficacy and the absorption. So the gold helps enhance mood, increase focus, concentration, alleviate anxiety. And it's also been known as the number one spiritual supplement because it connects yourself to your higher self. So you combine that with the acceleridine and you are enlightened. I would believe that your aura changes. If you have a Genius app, it would be really interesting to scan your body and do an aura picture and then start taking these supplements and then do it again to see if it changes. And you and I know that when we see people, sometimes their auras change. I interviewed Sean Wells last week. If you missed it, it was a great interview. We talked about mental health and depression. He moved to Costa Rica and I took a chance and I said, Sean, I hope it's okay that I mention this, but your aura has changed. And he goes, you're not the only person that has said that, Sarah. Just by being in a different environment, away from EMFs, away from the United States, he has seen a difference in his aura. And that's where the accelerated gold and the acceleridine would make a big difference. Accelerated keto. So if you're doing the Ascent Diet Cleanse, if you're just on the keto for maintenance, this is something that is going to help with your depression and increase BDNF. Combine it with a low carb, high protein diet. It's not only going to help with the BDNF, but it'll also help lower insulin resistance, increase mental energy, alleviate the brain fog, mobilize body fat for energy, and give the body the building blocks of nutrients necessary for those transmitter productions, all of which is connected to depression as well. And those amino acids from protein are so important for those building blocks for the neurotransmitters. You need those amino acids, and the best place to get them is animal protein, wild animal protein. Tomorrow on my show is not one to miss. Craig Emmerich is Maria Emmerich's husband. He is the science one. We're going to geek out on the power of protein, the power of the micronutrients. When people claim that blueberries and kale are the superfoods, we're going to compare that to what is in meat and natural wild animal protein and what you're getting, and without the plant poisons. So the accelerated keto, flipping you into ketosis, teaching your body to use its own body fat stores for energy, increasing the brain activity. People feel good. It has been shown to increase your mood, to help you feel good, because you're not needing to eat for a constant sugar high to get that mental high and that energy from physical energy. So just as your physical energy increases, so will your mood. Number 4, deep sleep. We all know that sleep deprivation reduces quality of life, and it also reduces BDNF. Everyone needs at least 7 hours of quality sleep. Sleep lowers cortisol and stress levels, improves hormonal balance, and restores energy. All of these factors help alleviate depression. Exercise is the fastest way and most effective way to increase BDNF, but it also increases ketone levels. So it's going to have that double whammy effect when you combine it with the accelerated keto, intermittent fasting, and a higher protein diet. It also increases serotonin, dopamine, circulation, insulin sensitivity. I talk about insulin sensitivity and mood because I think we all have seen a kid where they go out on a splurge of candy and they're feeling great, jumping high for about 30 minutes, and then they crash and they're having tantrums. Well, we internally are having a tantrum, but we socially can't let it out because we're adults, but we all probably want to. Well, that exercise is helping that insulin sensitivity and blunt the rise and blunt the fall. So it's really an important thing to be doing. Weight-bearing exercises. You don't want to be doing chronic cardio, especially if you're in your 40s and 50s and a woman. We're going to have Deborah Atkinson on in a couple weeks, and we are teaming up because she is amazing at teaching women how to change their body composition to its benefit and take that exercise piece that I'm not really able to provide and have you all have access to her and her program, which is going to be fantastic. But exercise, it's something you just got to do. You wake up, you have your running shoes out, not that you're going for a run, but you're going to go lift some heavy weights. You're going to go do some squats against the wall, maybe some jumping jacks, buy a jump rope, get a vibration machine. All of these ways you can strengthen your body and your mind. Number 6 is sunlight. During the winter months, BDNF is at its lowest levels, and just taking vitamin D supplement doesn't give you what you need. Should you be taking vitamin D? Yes. But should you be getting outside at least for 20 minutes? Yes. It's very therapeutic and effective in increasing that BDNF level and helping alleviate depression. Intermittent fasting. Whether it's intermittent fasting every other day or the longer fast, fasting factually has been shown to increase BDNF by as much as 400%. Remember, when you're in ketosis, you're out using the accelerated keto, you're doing the intermittent fasting, it's lowering the inflammation in your brain and your gut is where it's making its neurotransmitters. It's helping increase BDNF, stabilizing blood sugar and insulin, heals that leaky gut, which is a cause for depression, reduces systemic inflammation, and all of these have a positive effect on your mood. So we are needing to heal our guts and detox from the toxins that we're being exposed to, those heavy metals, the toxins from the vaccine or the vaccine shedding also is impacting mood. I have seen this where from shedding or from actually injection that people's serotonin levels and insulin levels get flatlined. And there's like nothing there when you're talking to somebody and nothing else has happened. People that are happy, this is affecting them. So if you have a family member that you're just like, they are not acting the way they used to act. Gosh, she used to always be happy. She's just not there anymore. This could be part of the problem. And this is where I put together my protocol following COVID. And it included the serum and the GABA and some of the other things that help turn back on the neurotransmitters that are related to COVID's effect on depression. But intermittent fasting and the longer fast also help increase that BDNF and help alleviate depression. Avoid sugar. I don't really need to say it, but it all goes along with a low carb, high protein diet, more ketogenic. But abstaining from sugar will increase that BDNF and increase an indirect effect of losing weight from not eating sugar and sticking to that low carb diet is also going to boost your mood by boosting your energy physically and mentally. Add magnesium. Magnesium is a natural antidepressant. It runs 3,700, more than 3,700 of your 9,000 enzymes in your body. The amount of things that magnesium is important for, it's endless. Your metabolism, your energy production depends on it. It's also needed to digest, absorb, and assimilate food. It decreases stress level, improves sleep, relaxes the body. All of these factors support mood. And I recommend taking it at night because it can make you tired. So you want to make sure that you're just in a calm state. And it's also great taking it before you go to bed because it'll help with your sleep. 10, I touched on this before, getting your wild animal proteins and getting your vitamin Bs, because Bs are from animal protein. Depression is linked to a B3 deficiency and B1 deficiency is linked to anxiety. Wild animal protein is the most nutrient-dense source of protein, most nutrients, and especially the vitamin Bs. And on a contrary, a vegan diet, it's really difficult to do that. It's absent of the necessary B vitamins, which leads to depression, a sluggish thyroid, and low energy. If you have a sluggish thyroid, you are going to be depressed. I mean, I know that when my thyroid's low, I don't feel great. My neurotransmitters are not on fire. My brain's not feeling good. And most people that are missing that iodine, that's also going to affect their thyroid. So it's really important to be supplementing with a B vitamin. And I recommend the P5P, which is actually already broken down into the absorbable kind. And I do carry that on my website, or you can get it at Amazon as well. Eliminating the processed foods, the vegetable oils, and the grains. So the inflammation from these processed foods, vegetable oils like canola oil, peanut oil, grapeseed oil, everything but olive oil, butter, ghee, coconut oil, avocado oil. Those are the good ones. The other ones are destroying the gut lining. They're causing leaky gut. they stay in the body for over a year. Sugar is in and out. Sugar tastes great. It causes its inflammation and issues for a day, and then it's out of your system. These processed foods and vegetable oils are in your body for over a year, and they're very inflammatory. They literally strip that mucosal lining. And we've got the Mega Mucosa supplement that I have in my leaky gut bundle that helps repair that mucosal lining. But remember when I talked about appetite suppressant and eating foods that help trigger that CCK hormone from your gut to tell your brain, I'm full? That comes from omega-3 fish oils and from the amino acids in wild animal protein. That tells your gut to tell your brain, I'm full, I'm good. Well, these vegetable oils, the inflammatory processed foods, it strips that lining out of your gut, so your gut can't even produce that CCK when you decide to eat the healthy meal versus the pizza and the fries and the burger. So that is where you've destroyed that lining and the signaling from your brain to your gut, and your neurotransmitters can't be produced as well. Really important. And I know it's hard, and I'm talking about this on the day after the Super Bowl, where we probably all went off our rails a little bit. It's fine. There's tricks to get it back. I do recommend the leaky gut bundle. At the very least, the Megaspore, that is going to help repopulate your gut with all that it needs. Number 12, the Eon Happy Patch. And this is a patch that I will not go without. I actually left it at home on a trip, a 3-day trip. And you think, oh, 3 days, I'm fine. I felt such a difference when I did not have it. It's an anti-inflammatory, anti-stress, happy patch. It balances and calms the brain, reduces cortisol and C-reactive proteins, and it elevates DHEA. It is balancing our whole autonomic nervous system, your heart rate, blood pressure, digestion, respiration, and it signals the body to make more of a substance in the liver that activates many antioxidants and anti-inflammatory pathways. It flips you into parasympathetic mode, out of the fight or flight stress mode. The Nirvana patch is the next one. This is the bliss and mood patch, and it helps attain a state of happiness, joy, and just lifts you up. So if you've got somebody that is really suffering, this is one to try. It lifts depression, elevates dopamine, and sustains the production of beta endorphins, and that is a happy and feel-good hormone. It also stimulates the production of collagen to help reduce the lines and wrinkles in your body or in your skin, which is a plus. And believe me, if your wrinkles start going away, you're going to be happier. Number 14, the X39 stem cell activation patch. This is activating the body's own stem cell production by elevating that GHK-Cu peptide for regeneration and repair. And people that use it notice mental clarity, increase, more joy, elevated mood, pain, inflammation reduction, wound healing, better sleep. And like I mentioned, you sleeping better, you're going to feel better, elevated mood, and just a whole bunch of other anti-aging results. Hair growth, wrinkle reduction, and enhances your sports performance. So if we are able to perform better in the gym, we're more motivated to go to the gym. We're increasing our dopamine just by going to the gym, right? So all of these things are like, one thing's chipping at and adding to the next. And this peptide is resetting over 4,000 genes to a younger state, helps repair the collagen in all your tissues. So you actually have the pain is not holding you back from doing what you want to do. You're able to act like your younger self. That in itself is going to help with your mood and with depression. The Alleviate patch, this is increasing organ function, reduces oxidative stress, and increases antioxidants. It stimulates that frontal lobe and pineal gland activation, which helps with mood, clarity, and focus. I wear it right here. Now, what I've been doing is doing the Alleviate patch right here, glutathione here, carnosine here, and don't laugh, but I'm putting the Eon one right here. I look like a fool going to bed. I turn the lights out so my husband can't see me. And I can tell you that my eyesight's gotten better. I was having some blurred vision, and it's also activating your pineal gland, which is also what is the acceleridine is doing. Sorry about that. It's helping. So both things are helping with your pineal gland and opening them up. I'm sleeping better with the Alleviate patch and the Eon patch. If I don't wear it on my face, I'll put it on the back of my neck and it just calms me down. And I do it at night. And my sleep score this last week has been in the 90s every single night without fail. And I'm dealing with some stressful situations at the moment. So that says a lot. Lastly, I touched on this before. It's the accelerated leaky gut bundle. And that is the Mega Pre, which is the food to feed the good bacteria. And some vegetables that are really good for that are artichokes and asparagus. And then you've got the Mega Spore, which is the one that goes down, bypasses the gut where a lot of probiotics die, and it helps produce the right microbiome. A lot of probiotics, and you're going to see on my website that I stopped. I am stopping carrying some of the probiotics I used to, because the Megaspore takes care of all of it. It is literally helping with UTIs and urinary tract health, and it's helping with the gut, because it bypasses and gets through where a lot of probiotics get killed by the acid in your stomach. We want our stomachs to have a high acidity to break down our food. Well, that high acidity is also going to break down your those probiotics that you think are doing you so much good. So the Megaspore bypasses that and then wakes up and spreads, and it starts producing the right probiotics and the right microbiome. Our microbiome is not just bacteria, it's viruses, it's fungus, it's candida. We're all supposed to have a little H. pylori, which I know people are scared of, but you want them in the right balance. You just don't want the good bacteria to die and the bad bacteria to outgrow it. When you're on antibiotics, it kills all the good and the bad and leaves the fungus and the candida just flourish, because antibiotics don't kill those. So you've got all this candida and these other, like the fungus, the candida, and the viruses that are in balance. Okay, you take antibiotics, you kill off the good guys and the bad guys, and these guys say, wow, I have a full playground now. I can go after it and do what I want to do. So it's really important to repopulate that gut. And Jenny is asking about if I have a magnesium. I don't have one on my website. I will be getting one, because it's ridiculous that I don't have one, actually. This is the issue with magnesium for me. I have a weak spleen, and I know it. So your spleen is the battery pack to your digestive system. Magnesium's job is to relax everything, relax your muscles, relax your mind. It relaxes your spleen, it relaxes your digestive system. So if I take an oral magnesium, not only will it will act as a laxative, which some people like. I personally like the Laxa Comfort because I'm more in control of it. And sometimes to get enough magnesium, you might be taking too much and running to the bathroom. I do like the BioOptimizers version. It has all different types of magnesium in it, but the one I use is a spray, a magnesium spray that I spray on my skin. That way it's not affecting my digestive system at all. And is there enough magnesium in the Olaloa? You know, honestly, I would, if you're taking the Olaloa and the quintessential 0.9, you're getting a good dose of magnesium. You can't take too much. So what I would test out is get one of the sprays. I think it's called Ancient Minerals off of Amazon. That's the one that I use, or the BioOptimizers, and test and see if it makes a difference in your sleep or your nerves. And maybe you are needing more. We can't take too much because our bodies use it so much. Okay, so colonics. As far as washing away the benefits of the prebiotics and no, it does not. I am a fan of the hydrocolonics, especially with everything that's going on, all the toxicity, and you guys are doing such a great job with the intermittent fasting and the silver and the detox powder and the acceleradine of detoxing the body to give it a good flush once a week, ideally. I know that's a lot to ask, and don't worry if you're not, and I'm not even doing that. I'd love to be doing that. That is helpful. But then just taking the Megaspore and getting, and the prebiotic, the pre-mucosa, the pre-mega and the mega mucosa, it's all, you're not washing those away. So don't worry about the hydrocolonic. So that is what I wanted to touch on today with depression. I cannot emphasize the importance of just doing all of these things. I was listening to the author of Atomic Habits this morning, and he's so right. He's like, it's not the burger and fries that you had on Sunday that's affecting you. It's the burger and fries that you've been having 5 days a week for the last 10 years. And it is ripping up your gut. You now have fatty liver, visceral fat. Oh, I was really thin in high school. I never really needed to work out. So I never got it in the habit of exercising. And now you're stuck and you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, and you're looking at yourself going, okay, I've got cancer as an issue. I've got weight that's crept on. Some people are still thin and they've got insulin resistance or diabetes and they don't know why. That can be one of the dangerous kinds where you're skinny fat. These habits of exercising every day, of writing in a gratitude journal, of eating whole food, even if it's not ketogenic or high protein, eat whole food. I'd much rather you have a sweet potato than a keto processed snack pack, right? There's so much keto and paleo snacks that companies are coming out with that are telling you these are healthy. Well, they could have the vegetable oils in them that have 0 carbs, but they're very inflammatory to the brain and the body. It's important to be doing all of these things and putting one foot in front of the other. Every morning, without fail, I know I'm putting my shoes on and I'm doing some sort of workout. If I'm wiped out, I'm taking my dog for a walk. If I feel the energy of my teenage daughter, I'm going to get on the rowing machine and lift weights. And I'm going to lift weights heavier in a week than I lifted last week. I'm also going to listen to my body, but I'm going to do these things, and I'm going to intermittent fast, and I'm going to stick to these certain foods that I know work for my body and make me feel my best most of the time. And is it okay to cheat? Yes. But alcohol is a depressant. I told my college son the other day, I said, I know college kids drink and he's not a big drinker. I said, but if you have any anxiety or depression tendencies, do not touch alcohol. And that's okay. Do I mean not to touch alcohol forever? No. But do I mean if you're going through a period where you're depressed, you're anxious, you don't know what it is, you've got something gnawing at you, these are the things that you need to check off the list and go after them and just put one foot in front of the other. The other thing I don't mention here, but what are the things that could be causing you a plateau in your mood or your physique when you're doing everything right? Dairy, nuts. These things are very inflammatory to the body and the brain. They cause constipation. They've got more inflammatory oils in them than the good for you fats. You could be eating oxalates. Oxalates get jabbed into your thyroid. Oxalates go into your joints. Oxalates go into your urinary tract and create havoc on your UTIs, bladder and kidney infections, cause kidney stones. I can tell you, if you're suffering from any of what I just mentioned, you're going to be depressed. It's no fun. You've got the sulfur vegetables. Remember, the sulfur ones are the kale, the broccoli, cauliflower, not avocado, cabbage, bok choy, Brussels sprouts. Those could be tripping up your detox pathways. So here you are doing all the things to detox, and you're eating these healthy vegetables that are ketogenic, low carb, and they're tripping up your ability to detox. That could be causing you to have, to have mood issues. So the other tips that I've talked about before. Number one, give yourself a high five in the morning in the mirror. When you hit the mirror, you're never going to miss your hand, right? You're never going to go like this. You're going to hit the mirror and you're going to hit your hand, and it boosts your mood. If you don't want to get up and go to the gym, if you don't want to get up and go write in your gratitude journal, you count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can't keep going after 1, and you just shoot up like a rocket and you go do what you're supposed to do. You bypass the head and you go with the body. And I've used this trick and I've talked to my kids about, their rowing races. And when you are in that last bit of the rowing race and your body wants to give out or your brain wants to give out, you bypass it. You imagine your brain is cut off from your body, and you just let your muscles go and do it. And you just do it. And you don't think about it. And that's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then also remember that fear and excitement are the same physical response. So if you have fear or anxiety over something, tweak it and think about that as something to be excited about, and you will turn those emotions into excitement. So those are my tips for depression, and I'm hoping that was helpful. If anyone has any other questions, we've got a couple minutes. All righty, guys. Well, I will post this later today or tomorrow. And I hope you have a fantastic week. And I hope you're a little less depressed, and we're all in this together. And please share in the chat what you've experienced. And if you've experienced any improvement with the supplements or some of the tricks that I've shared, it would be really helpful for everybody. And I know everyone is very appreciative when you all share and it's not just me talking. All righty, guys, have a great Monday.